Hey friends, it's Kirsten. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to communicate effectively with doctors and navigate the whole world of trying to find your best treatment plan, whether you're dealing with an injury that is specific to ballet. That is what I have the most experience with. Or you could also just be dealing with any sort of health problem. I think that these tips can be really beneficial for you because as I've learned over the past couple months of seeing quite a few doctors and learning to really advocate for myself and getting back to what I want to do, it's just been such a learning curve, such a journey, and I realize you actually have to get good at it and know how to more or less communicate and work the system to get what you need. Now, I don't want to seem negative and be giving off the impression that it's you against the doctors and they don't want to help you. That's not the case at all. It's just that specifically from a dancer's perspective, I think that you really tend to have a heightened sense of need and time sensitivity because when dealing with an injury, you use your body so much and you want to get back to what you're doing as soon as possible. Now, of course, any person, even if you have a desk job, you're going to want to get better as soon as you can. But when your body is failing you and you're a dancer, that is your life, your livelihood, it is everything, and you just need to get back as soon as possible. So today I'm just going to share my tips with you to communicate as a dancer to doctors so that you can get your needs filled as soon as you can with the most success, hopefully. So the first tip I have for you goes along with what I already said in the intro, which is to be your own advocate and to push for your own results. You need to be the driving force of your recovery. Again, I'm not implying that no one is going to help you, but the thing is, I think as well, anybody, it's not just exclusive to dancers, anyone seeking a treatment is wrapped up in their own world, their own problems, and you tend to kind of have this idea that the doctors are going to help you through, guide you through, show you the next steps. And yeah, maybe the amazing doctors will do that. But the fact of the matter is that every doctor usually has a lot of patients and they need you to be calling and scheduling appointments. They need you to be bringing up concerns. They're not going to fish them out of you and like magically always perceive what you need. You need to bring it up. You need to be calling. You need to be asking as many questions as you can. I mean, within reason, but well, I'll get to another tip about asking questions later. But just know that you can't just sit back in your recovery. If you want things to happen and if you want to get through this, you've got to always be checking up. You've got to always just stay on top of what you need and be very aware of your needs. And again, keep asking questions. If you don't know what the next step is, confirm with your doctor before you leave any appointment, confirming those next steps. Okay, who do I need to call? Okay, when are we going to schedule? When are you going to be able to look at my MRI results so I can schedule a follow-up? You need to follow up, follow through, and be very persistent, because if you just hang back, your recovery is going to be prolonged and nobody wants that. Never, please never assume that if you just sit back and relax, things are going to happen. The other day, I literally made about 10 phone calls in one morning to get my MRI results spread around to the places they needed to go, calling between 3 different institutions. And this was all on me. If I just assumed that things were happening without my help, I would have thought that my results were at the doctor's office and he was looking at them when in fact they weren't even going his way. So that's an example of me intervening, which is what every person needs to do, and taking charge and checking up, making sure every person who's going to help you make those decisions has the information they need to get that done. My second tip is to do your research on anatomy. This is very easy these days and it can be very basic. All you have to do, if you're feeling pain and you have no idea what the muscles and bones are called in your body, it's okay. But know that you do need to, well, if you're going to have a really smooth experience, hopefully, it's super helpful to know basic anatomy of the area where you are experiencing an injury, so that when you go in for your consultations and checkups and whatever, you can say, okay, I think it is my peroneals that are hurting, or even just learning a little lingo things like medial versus lateral. Medial means the inside, lateral outside. So like, I'll get my knee up in here. This is the medial side of my knee, inside, lateral side, outside. Just knowing little things like that based off of just some simple Google searches is really game-changing when you're talking to doctors. If you can articulate as clearly as possible where you're experiencing pain and give off the impression that you are knowledgeable and you are going to be very involved in finding your best option for treatment, usually doctors will kind of, like, not saying they're always lazy or they don't want to help you again. That's not the case usually, but I have found that doctors usually help me even more and do an even better job with me ever since I have educated myself on how to communicate my injuries clearly. And it's kind of like they think, oh, well, this girl kind of knows what she's talking about, so I should kind of step up my game. I can't just kind of treat you out of my butthole and just kind of say, well, yeah, your knee's hurting, my ab tendonitis, you know. Usually, if you're dealing with the right doctors, it's not going to be an issue, but I've had plenty of doctors kind of come in, maybe not with the strongest intentions of giving me my best care, and I've kind of pushed it out of them because I know as much as I can as a lay person what I'm talking about, and so then that kind of holds them accountable and it helps them know more clearly what's going on with you. So do your research, people. Also, if you're doing your research and maybe even looking into symptoms that come up online or common ailments that affect the area where you're experiencing pain, that will help guide you in what questions to ask the doctor. You could say, do you think this is tendonitis? Do you think it's a tear? Do you think it's this? Or what do you think it is bursitis? Something like that. Any sort of terminology you can familiarize yourself with, that's going to open your mind to wondering about what possibilities are there in diagnosing your problem, so that you can say, do you think it is this? And then they'll say, no, here's why. And that's going to help clear your mind up too as well. So go in not self-diagnosing, but being aware of possibilities. This is going to help you out a ton. Also relating to research, if you are experiencing a serious injury and you really need more than just a diagnosis and someone telling you, okay, just take it easy for a couple weeks. If you're really looking into serious treatment options such as injections, surgeries, any sort of procedure, something like that, you need to also familiarize yourself with common treatment options and practices so that you can bring each option you're aware of up with the doctor and ask if that might be a viable option for you. For me, I've actually had some doctors prescribe or give me their recommendation, and I usually come in with a secondary option just to make sure that we're considering all options here, because the thing is, you know your body. Obviously, a doctor understands your anatomy and the way humans work, but you're the only one feeling your pain, and you are the only one who really knows your expectations and what you're really trying to get out of this recovery process. So do be aware of alternate treatment options, even if it just gives you the peace of mind that knowing that you're getting the best one. My next tip is to not be afraid of asking questions and taking up the doctor's time. That sounds maybe like I'm being a little rude, but what I mean is that I know a lot of dancers are shy. They're very cognizant of like not being rude, not taking up people's time, not taking up space, you know, not being a bother. This is especially a female issue these days. Again, I don't want to make generalizations. These are just my observations. And I want to encourage you that you're paying money for consultations. You're paying for the doctors to listen to you, not to just have them waltz in, say, poke around, be like, hey, you might have this, I'll schedule you for a follow-up, where they make more money off of your next consultation. The thing is, you need to realize that it's an exchange. It is okay if you come in with the intention of asking as many questions that are worth the time and that are valid, so that you can leave not having more questions come up in your head than when you were in the room. Oftentimes, I've had so many experiences actually where I go into the doctor's office and I leave with more questions than I ever dreamt of having walking in, even though I feel like, okay, I'm listening to what they're saying, and it's just like, in the consultations, things happen so fast and they're just throwing so much information at you sometimes, and then you leave and you're like, what happened? Did anything happen? Wait, I don't actually know what the next steps are. So don't be afraid to take it slow. If you don't understand anything the doctor's saying, or any part of what the doctor's saying, it's okay if you stop and ask. It's not a stupid question, okay? The thing is, these people have gone to school for years and years and years and years, and they know so much. And so sometimes they just throw out big words, and you're not expected to know what that means. They don't always explain it. So it's totally fair to ask the questions you need to have a clear, peaceful state of mind, as much as that is possible, when you leave the office. And I think if you don't go in with the intentions of asking questions and taking the time necessary to come to a point of good understanding, then you're gonna leave with a lot of chaos in your mind, and you don't need that if you're injured and going through a lot already. Also, you shouldn't just be trying to ask all these questions, but know that even good doctors don't always know, well, they ask good questions if they're a good doctor, but you need to be comfortable with volunteering information that is very important to you, and you feel like it is an important component of formulating a good strategy for recovery. You need to work with someone who is going to be completely aware that you're a dancer, that they need to know how you injured yourself, how you feel pain, what you're gonna try to be doing in the next couple months, like your goals for getting back, and they'll work with you a little bit more if they have a fuller picture of what's going on with you. Usually they're just gonna know to ask the basic questions about what specifically is bothering you, but if they're not asking all the questions to get the full picture, which isn't necessarily their fault, they're not gonna absolutely be able to know what's important to you unless you tell them. Another thing is that you need to really, if you can, seek out a person who is in sports medicine, someone who works with athletes if you're a dancer seeking treatment for an injury, because they are going to be much more understanding and familiar with the process that suits athletes best, not just someone who, you know, wants to get treatment, but it's not like their lives necessarily depend on it. Maybe plantar fasciitis bothers them, but they're not like trying to do point work every day. My next point is to be confident and kind. Don't let yourself be just kind of told everything. Be a participant in the process. And this seems kind of weird, but you've got to be adamant about getting the best care. Again, I don't mean to sound like I'm so much on the defensive and that doctors aren't there to help you. They totally are, but again, you have to be your best advocate and just help the doctors help you. So be confident and just very firm in the sort of care you want to receive, and that's going to help you get your best treatment plan. If you are dealing with a serious injury, especially one that's maybe bothered you for a while, or it's a little bit mysterious, not so easily fixed perhaps, you're going to be needing to probably see several doctors, several types of doctors, especially if you're looking for a treatment, a surgery, something like that. I would recommend finding one doctor you really trust as a person, and you feel like you could communicate openly with them and you feel like they understand you, and ask that person for recommendations or other connections where you can get set up with another doctor who could help meet your needs. Because my other really big point is that if you are seeking a big treatment option, you need to get at least 2 opinions. I wouldn't always say 3 is necessary. I'd say 2 is a great idea. The thing is, you can easily go overboard and get too many people's opinions and get too many people involved, and that just gets frustrating, confusing, and very chaotic. So only trust your information with the people you really trust to get the treatments done and to get your best care. So get at least 2 opinions if it's serious, but don't get too crazy in listening to everybody who wants to help you and give you advice, or every person who's maybe a PT or an athletic trainer or a doctor. You know, they're all going to have something to say, but really take your own intuition into account and know that you're the only one who's experiencing your pain in your body. I know from experience, it's so easy to just trust what doctors say and run with it. For years, even up until this summer when I started my recovery from my torn patellar tendon, I only listened to one doctor. I only sought out the care of one doctor, and I really should have gone for 2. I realized talking to another friend of mine who was suffering from a serious back injury that she got 3 opinions, and that's when I kind of woke up and I was like, wait, I should have talked to 2 people. Not that my doctor wasn't good, but it would have given me maybe more options and a better peace of mind, and really actually having those options so that I would be able to choose, and then that makes me more of a participant in getting the best care. Because I do believe you, as the injured person or whatever you're going through, you have a right to have a say in your treatment. Don't just automatically go with whatever the doctor brings up the first time. Collaborate and know that you have a right and a say in what's going to be happening, because it's your body. You need to trust your intuition, what you're feeling, and bring that up, and again, advocate for yourself. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I really appreciate you watching. I really wish the best for you who are watching, who might be experiencing an injury. My heart really goes out to you because I totally understand. I've been there, still kind of there. Yeah, give this video a like and share it with anyone who could definitely benefit from more advice on how to see doctors. And well, the thing is, all of us are going to see doctors at one point in our lives because, you know, sometimes bad health happens. So it's important to spread information like this if you find it helpful. Also, please do check out my Patreon account. If you have been getting value and enjoyment out of watching my channel, I'd really appreciate any financial contribution you can manage to this channel so I could keep doing what I love to do and spreading advice and positivity into the ballet world. It means everything to me, and it's really a passion of mine. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can be a part of the Twin Talks Ballet community. And I'm done promoting myself and my channel. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!